Well, surrounded on two sides by Israel, on another by sea, and on one more by its closed border with Egypt, there is no real place to escape for the 2.2 million people who live in the narrow Gaza Strip. Over the weekend, Israel ordered around half of them, 1.1 million, in or near the densely populated city in the north to move south of the Wadi Gaza River. Inevitably, that's led to a sudden surge in southern populations. Khan Yunis, normally home to 400,000, is now struggling to house around 1 million people. All day, all eyes have been on Gaza's only link to Egypt, the Rafah crossing, which remains closed, blocked to aid agencies and fleeing refugees alike.
It's 10 a.m. and in Gaza, another nightmare is just beginning.
She's a woman.
She's a woman, says an ITV News journalist. And there are other victims too, many others. An airstrike has just hit.
7 people. He's killed here.
And every passerby is now a search and rescue worker, a nurse, a doctor. The hospital is a mix of the dead and the dying, of those looking for shelter or for a place to feel safe. Noon in Tel Aviv, where the clock was ticking towards an inevitable moment. The US Secretary of State, here to show support, to offer counsel. But as his tour of the Middle East came to an end, it seemed the diplomatic phase of this conflict was closing too. A few dozen miles away are some of the people at the heart of the diplomatic discussion. The Rafah crossing with Egypt is both an exit post and a lifeline. Some of Israel's allies want it to be opened to get their people out before the invasion begins. A British man among those trying but failing to escape.
Last night and even this morning, we've been bombarded, airstrikes. We don't know where it's safe, where it's not safe, and even the places we've been told that it is safe. We're going there and we're staying, but unfortunately we're still experiencing the airstrikes.
I'm from Massachusetts in the US, and I honestly don't like bombing. It's like the war, I don't like it, and it's really loud, and I get scared from loud noises.
For some of those waiting, it is only their nationality which might offer them an escape.
It's indescribable. It's basically people are trying to save their life as much as they can.
And we hopefully will come back tomorrow.
Minutes after our team left the crossing, reports came through of a military strike here. Then later in Jerusalem, as the hours passed, the Israeli Prime Minister met with America's chief diplomat. And he travelled to Parliament where, from behind the podium, he compared Hamas to the Nazis. And although he outlined his intention to topple the group, he said little about what might happen the next day. This is really interesting. It's Netanyahu over there in the Knesset speaking right now. He's clearly preparing his population for war. But what he hasn't explained is precisely what he wants from this operation, beyond revenge. But just after he left the stage, a response from Hamas. The chamber cleared, the siren sounding, a statement from across the border. The race towards an invasion has certainly slowed, in part because of pressure continuing tonight from the US to plan for the what next. But no indication, not publicly at least, that Israel's ambitions for Gaza have fundamentally changed. Rohit Khatru, News at 10, Jerusalem.